Good morning, good afternoon, everybody, and very, very warm welcome to our today's webinar talking about financial planning and reporting for your small and medium business. We want to go through a few slides and also go into our concrete offering in terms of software support for your planning and reporting process, but wanted to show you a few areas that are of highest importance based on the uncertainty that is still valid in the market space out there today. If you switch on the news, you get confused, you get worried, and you feel more and more out of control what is going on, right? And uncertainty is the name of the game for the economy for 2025 at least. And that puts a CFO in a hot seat. So staying nimble and strategic will be a key to riding out the uncertainty because nothing is as certain for the foreseeable future as uncertainty. The global economic outlook for the year is marked by chief economists being divided on the potential for further weakening or stabilization. The persistent volatility is fueled by slow global economic activities, tight financial conditions, and escalating geopolitical tensions, also here as we see on a daily basis. Notably, inflation expectations are moderating, but the accelerating pace of geoeconomic fragmentation is expected to heighten instability. And as CFOs, understanding and navigating these complexities is crucial for strategic planning and resilience in the face of evolving economic changes. Over the past decades, 52% of Fortune 500 companies have vanished, highlighting the intense volatility and competitive nature of today's market. Even more startling, only 20% of companies last beyond 20 years. This stark reality underscores the need for strategic agility and innovation to stay afloat. It's crucial to navigate these challenges by fostering a culture of resilience and continuous improvement within your organization, and not just aim to survive, but to thrive in the ever-evolving landscape. Improved financial market conditions and increased demand for strategic transformations have led to an upswing in M&A activity following a lengthy bear market over the last few years. The M&A market has always been complex, with a myriad of factors determining how much you can sell your business for, but these factors now extend to external market conditions, creating a buyer's market where the buyer has the upper hand. However, with the right strategies, businesses like yours can position themselves for successful sale, regardless of market conditions. So you see it on the right-hand side, providing accurate financial projections is utmost important. Developing comprehensive scenario modeling as an example, right? So you need to be able to conduct thorough scenario analysis showing potential investors that the company has considered various outcomes and has contingency plans in place to demonstrate financial acumen and risk management capabilities, right? Offering data-driven insights is important, as well as establishing key performance indicators to identify and track relevant KPIs that demonstrate your progress towards those financial goals. This creates a framework for measuring success and builds credibility with potential investors. You see, there's a lot of upswing in the current market conditions in case you are considering either acquiring or being acquired in terms of growing your company. And this is just an example, right? That a smaller company like C3 Nano was in a pre-revenue phase, growing, and was recently acquired by DuPont. And now DuPont is able to extend capabilities and provide new technology solutions for transparent and flexible films and inks and that dramatically increased both C3 Nano's value as a company, if you will, and now part of DuPont, which now is able to offer new solutions. Incumbents have rejuvenated as well, right? IBM once a titan of punch card tabulators, and they faced near extinction before transforming into a leader in cognitive data services, right? This remarkable evolution underscores the resilience and innovation in the tech industry and propels it from the brink of obsolescence to the forefront of AI and advanced data solutions. But what do all these companies and successful companies have in common? It is the promised land, if you will, right? FP&A teams can steer a company towards sustainable growth by leveraging scenario planning and forecasting to anticipate market changes and using predictive modeling for data-driven insights. With dynamic resource allocation, they can swiftly redirect funds to high-impact areas, while immediate response plans ensure the company can adapt to sudden shifts like we're seeing right now, today and every day. This intelligent steering enables proactive decision-making, aligning resources with strategic priorities for optimal growth. So what are the magic gifts for overcoming the obstacles to achieve that? It's time to abandon the simplistic approach of last year's revenues plus 10%, as you see in the example on the left-hand side showing a spreadsheet, right? We need to pivot towards a more sophisticated planning strategy. We need to embrace forward-thinking methodologies like comprehensive scenario analysis, earlier mentioned, and adaptive forecasting to paint a clearer picture of potential outcomes. And by implementing nuanced predictive models and flexible resource allocation, companies can prepare for diverse future scenarios and react swiftly to changing conditions. And this strategic shift from retrospective to prospective planning empowers you to focus on what should happen, driving sustained and intelligent growth. So you would be not alone. Many companies have turned to us because of our unique blend of product and process expertise, right? We're CIOs as well as CFOs, providing full support throughout your whole customer journey. So this holistic approach solidifies our tech and your tech investments and ensures that you not only integrate smoothly, but also foster sustainable growth. And by partnering with us, you will gain a trusted ally that helps you navigate the complexities in nowadays world, especially around your IT investments or those to be, right? So what is your win path? I've just listed a couple of areas that are important to many CFOs and finance executives. Of course, cash flow visibility and stability is one of the most important goals that you have and should have, right? Especially with capital constraints that we all find in our environment, cash flow is king, as we see, right? So there is a strong dependency of leadership in your organization for you to deliver very detailed short and medium term cash flow forecasts, right? And of course, we help with that in terms of automating that process and the calculations and making sure that you have these deep insights to be able to monitor patterns, terms, and working capital metrics in real time. Right? Next thing is scenario planning for encountering the volatility in the market that we talked about earlier. Right? We also want to go into cost control and margin protection, which is kind of the quote unquote old school finance view, right? Cost containment programs have always been there, will always be there, right? But we help you manage your costs better and protect your margins that are very important to your stakeholders and also in terms of potentially improving the value of your organization. So a lot of win paths here, but let me know what it is that is driving you, and we can go very, very specifically into what you need to do. But here comes the game changer, right? We have wrapped up industry-leading finance applications into our PlaniFi FP&A Cloud, a powerhouse platform that ensures you stay ahead without the dreaded fear of missing out, right? No more worries about tools being exclusive to the big players. This solution is tailored for all, from small and growing businesses to larger companies, as seen earlier, right? And PlaniFi FP&A Cloud isn't just another tool, it's your new best friend in financial planning and reporting, because it grows with you, adapting to your needs and expanding into areas like headcount, CapEx, consolidations, whatever you're having in mind at a later stage, right? If time is right and you're ready for it, we extend beyond the pure financial planning and analysis into other areas as well, right? So you'll have a comprehensive and scalable solution that simplifies complex financial processes and propels your organization towards sustainable growth. Growth, not growth. Pardon my German accent here. At a cost point superior to hiring the next spreadsheet jockey into your team, and that's the important piece, right? You will be ready to revolutionize your financial strategy. So look no further. But we want to show you a little bit also, what does that really mean, right? I have put in a couple of screenshots here um, because the analysis portion is very, very important to you and your CFO, right? And we have automated financial statement reporting in there, right? So all your financial statements are automatically calculated and all the time up to date. We have report packages that include all the analysis that you would need, right? Comparative views, trending, consolidating views, your different scenarios, etc. Right? And you can also, of course, build your own reporting in addition to what we bring to you in any format you need. And Jambi will show this to you as well, right? So it provides you with the ability to visualize your results and answer questions with the dashboards and be prepared for your board meetings and stakeholder meetings that are happening on a daily basis. Janvi, why don't you go into sharing your screen now and show a little bit the reporting and analysis side of our offering?
Yeah, perfect. Thank you so much, Henna. Yeah, so just to kind of follow up on what Henna just went through, when it comes to some of the analytic and reporting dashboards, what we wanted to do is, not just show it in slides, we wanted to show you in the system and show you the product as well at the same time. So what I'm doing is I'm jumping over here into our P&L report book. Before we dive into the P&L report book, it's worth highlighting the launchpad that we see on the screen right now. So throughout this demo, you'll notice that there are embedded launch pads to guide the user through specific processes. These kind of serve as navigational tools to kind of enhance the user's experience and then help with that user adoption as well. Additionally, we've also included built-in instructions and help guides, again, to support users in completing their day-to-day activities more efficiently and effectively as well. So as we get into our P&L report book here, it is actually a dynamic, interactive financial dashboard that provides you kind of a comprehensive summary of your company's things like revenue, costs, expenses, all for a specific period in time as well. And what you're seeing right now, this report out of the box, it can easily be exported into a PowerPoint or a PDF format that can then easily be shared across your organization as well. So in our example, we're looking at our entity Best Run Corp, and we're actually looking at the month of December here. So I'm going to jump into our summary tab. So as this gets loaded here, our year-to-date summary page, this kind of delivers you with immediate insights into your key financial metrics, including things like total sales, gross profit, operating income, and net income as well. Thanks to the interactive nature of the dashboard as well, we can actually use the drill down capabilities to kind of drill down, for instance, into exploring figures that go into for total sales by quarter. And then you can actually drill down even further and go to month as well. So again, the platform is built to be able to kind of see your data in a lot of different formats, allowing you to kind of report and then have numbers and have those discussions with your team accordingly as well from these reports. So in addition to this report, actually we're showing our actuals at the moment. We can actually easily switch between different versions as well. So if I wanted to see this report based on budget or based on forecast or based on targets, I can actually just select either one of these versions from the dropdown, and it will automatically change some of the KPIs and functions on the screen to kind of reflect now that new version as well. And then again, easily change back accordingly as well. So in regards to some of the KPIs, in addition, we've actually built in analytic visualizations as well, such as the operating income bridge report that you see here. What we've done is we've actually leveraged the calculation engine that kind of derives and identifies different variance drivers as well based on your data. So this actually can be reused in your own reports without you having to rebuild them from scratch as well. And then we also have some additional visualizations when it comes to the operating income and total sales by month as well. So just real quick, jumping over into some of the other areas of this report, the trend report, it provides kind of a Excel-based guided narrative style view of your P&L results and margin trends for over the last 3 months. It's designed to kind of offer you a really quick visual snapshot of your short-term financial performances as you're doing as your organization. And then jumping over here into our prior year comparative, this report actually allows you to see a comparative view of your finances at a month to date, quarter to date, and at a year to date level. We can also have a trailing 12 months if that's something that you're interested in. And we can see our current year, we can see our previous year, and then we can see our variance as well. And with the variances, these calculations can be seen in the whole dollar amounts as well as the percentages as well. We have some additional operating bridge reports here as well that you can do some additional comparisons on. Right now we're seeing our actuals versus budget. If we wanted to see our actuals versus forecast or target, again, very easy to kind of for the user to kind of see that information within the report book as well. So just kind of looking at the comparative page, this provides a side-by-side view of our actuals versus budget, and it includes, again, both the dollar values of the variance and also the percentage variance. This kind of helps highlight where performance is exceeding or failing, or falling short, of expectations as well. And this gives the user, business user, a real quick view into that as well. And then just jumping over into our comparative comments page. So this page allows your teams to capture commentary related to the different variances identified in the comparative report. So for example, at month end, as your managers get into this report, they can actually capture specific information on the different variances. And what the system will do, I'll just add this in here, service contract. What the system will automatically do as I add this comment, it's actually going to capture that comment and then also capture the user that's entered it and then that date and timestamp as well. So that, as these comments are being entered to explain some of these variances that we see from different managers and different departments, these can actually then also be aggregated and filtered to provide a corporate level view across all your departments as well. So at the corporate level, you're able to see everyone's comment on the screen, and at that department level, the users are really able to home in and kind of see what their numbers are and then provide explanations based on what we have within how we've performed for the month. And then again, just to kind of mention again, these can actually be exported into a PDF or into a PowerPoint very easily. And what you can also do is you can also apply some filters so that these reports are built based on entity or department, if they're the filters that we have. So this really makes it easy to kind of distribute and tailor these versions across your organization as well, and then share that accordingly. So that's just a real quick overview of some of the analytics in the P&L report book. I'll hand off to back to Henna, who will take us through a few more slides, and then we'll jump into a little bit more of a demo as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Janvi. And let's get to the next topic, the planning process as such, right? So how can we help revolutionize your financial planning a little bit, right? With our solution, you can forecast and plan all your key financial statements, the income statement, the balance sheet, and the cash flow, very, very effortlessly, right? Say goodbye to manual guesswork and say hello to precise working capital forecasts, ensuring your business stays liquid and agile. Our platform also automates the entire forecast collection process, freeing up your team's time and reducing errors, or your own time and reducing errors, right? Plus, with powerful scenario planning and what if analysis capabilities, you can visualize various outcomes and make data-driven decisions with confidence. So pre-built workflows, as you see them up here, chaperone you and your team through the process, right? So as an example, you will see there's a monthly process, which includes the short-term planning of profit and loss statement, working capital, balance sheet, and cash flow statement. And in the platform, we're using the forecast version, if you will, right? And the forecast of the P&L is based on the budget. So the values in the budget seed the forecast version, and this will create drivers. And then when the planner makes manual adjustments, the values will spread based on the results in the budget. That's just one example, right? There's an annual process as well available where we go into the long-term planning, inclusive of planning of the P&L in the target and budget versions that you will, right? So your experts can plan the annual gross profit as an example in the target version, and in the budget version, the user then can plan with a higher level of granularity and plan the monthly results for all accounts in your P&L as an example, right? And similar to the forecast version, the target and budget versions are initially populated with values, and this time sourced from the actual data points. So, Janvi, why don't you hop into the system again, and we can take a look into the planning process.
Perfect, yes. Let me jump into the system here. Hopefully now you can see that financial statement launchpad that Henna just took us through as well. So as Henna mentioned, as a planner gets in, there is two different processes that we can follow. Is that annual process that is setting up those annual targets and then getting ready for that monthly plan. And then there's actually the monthly planning process as well. And as Henna mentioned, this is where you can work to build out your P&L and then work on building out other financial statements like your working capital, balance sheet, and cash flow as well. I'm actually just going to jump into the annual process first, just to set up and show how we can set up those annual targets within the system. So within this page, as a user, there's a number of different ways that we can start building out our annual plan. So we can actually seed data from the prior year actuals, and we can do that by selecting the data action, and we can actually select we want to take the target version is going to be our budget, and we want to source that from our actuals. So we can go ahead and do that. So we're going to source that from, let's just say 2025. And we're going to source that from our actuals. And here we can actually, again, we can do a bit of a growth update percentage as well. So if we want to increase it by 5%, we can actually set that up, and we can do that to our actuals. And then our target horizon, again, we can select the new year. So in this example, I'm just going to plan for 2026. And as I run this, what that's doing is that's actually initially starting our 2026 plan with bringing in some of our actuals into bringing in our prior year actuals into 2026. So hasn't come up there, but I'll just use 2025 as an example here. So once we do have our targets set, we can actually come in here, and as a user, I can make adjustments. So we can do top-down planning, and we can also do some bottoms-up planning as well. So from the top down, if we wanted to, in addition to increase our total sales, we can actually do an additional 3%. And as a user, I can just put in the 3% and I can put in that plus or minus. And what the system will do is it will automatically calculate that information and then disaggregate that down our P&L so that all the numbers are reflecting that new number based on the inputs that we've put in. And then again, you know, that's at the very top level if we wanted to do planning at the top level, but of course we can drill down based on our hierarchies within our model, and we can actually make adjustments at lower levels as well. So if I wanted to increase our service sales by 10%, I can make that change, and what the system will do is, again, it will aggregate that and disaggregate that down so I can see how that's going to impact my total plan accordingly as well. And then on this screen as well, as I'm making adjustments, I'm able to see that how that impacts some of my gross margins per the year. And then we can actually have an idea of our targets and budgets and forecasts from our prior year at the bottom here as well. So in addition to kind of seeding those targets from last year's actuals, you can actually use the predictive forecast to actually build out your annual plan using predictive analysis, or you can actually start with a zero-based budget as well. It all really depends on what you want to do, very flexible within the platform as well. So from here, just kind of jumping into now, we've done the annual processing that you saw on the Launchpad. So now as the user and the planner is coming in to do some of the planning at more of a month level, this is where we can actually come in and we can actually make those adjustments accordingly as well. And as you'll see on the screen, as I was making change in the other story, we can actually see any changes that are made to our plan. They're actually reflected with that yellow background, and this kind of indicates that a change has been made to that data entry point as well. So we can see how our changes are kind of impacting, again, our overall income statement in this example. And here we're looking at our budget and we're looking at all departments. But again, as a user, I can come in and drill down and start to plan for specific departments. And again, with security settings, based on what I am assigned to and what I'm allowed to see, the story and the platform will automatically only display information that I'm allowed to see and edit as well. So you have that security base put in as well. So in addition to planning our budget, we can then go ahead and plan for our forecast. Again, these are all the different versions that we can be able to plan against. And again, we can also seed accordingly as well. And then, you know, Hannah also mentioned earlier is some of the scenario planning that we can do. So as a user, I have the ability to come into the system, and the platform allows me to create a version which is considered a private version, which then I can do some scenario planning off of. So if I go ahead and if I just go to my version management, I'm going to go to my version management. Here, what I can do is I can actually make a copy of a version that already exists. So if I take my budget, and I'm just going to make a copy of my budget, and I'm going to name that scenario 1. What that's going to do is that's going to add a new scenario here, our scenario 1. And what we can then do is, based on what the changes we make, this is where we can do some scenario planning and make some additional changes. So I can make some changes to our OpEx expenses in this example, see how that would impact our overall plan, and then even make some additional adjustments to some of the travel. You know, also, again, you know, very easy to kind of see how this scenario will play out and the impact it would have on our overall P&L. And with this, what I can also do is, with my scenario, right now it is just a private version. I can actually go ahead and now share this with others in my organization. And I can share this as a read-only file or a read and write. So if I was to share this with Henna, he can also come in to our expense forecast here, and we can actually work on this scenario together, make changes, and then also then submit that for approval to a manager or through an approval process to then actually be reviewed. And then if everything looks good, this can actually then be published back into our actual plan, so that the next time we logged in, we're now seeing our new budget based on all of the information and the scenario that we've just built. So really good collaboration tool that allows you to collab across your organization, and then also do that scenario planning for yourself as well, and as a user, and really see how some of those changes and scenarios would impact your overall plan accordingly. And then in addition to planning some of the P&L, you can also have the ability to kind of work on reviewing your working capital. This is where you can actually maintain drivers such as the DSO, DIO, and DPO. You can make changes here and then see that impact to your accounts receivable as well, essentially by running the data action. And what that's going to do, let me go ahead and just choose the period here. And what that do is the changes that we've made, that will essentially then show us the impact again to our accounts receivable, which we'll see at the bottom here as well within our working capital. Similar to our working capital, we do also have the balance sheet and then the cash flow as well, all within our planning templates that the users are able to kind of review and then work across accordingly as well. So as this gets updated, and as that data action is running, it is actually doing all of those calculations in the background, and then it's going to make those adjustments and update our plans accordingly to reflect those changes. So again, as I make those changes to my DIO, we're able to see all of that impact within our accounts receivable as well. I'm going to pass back to Hannah to just go over some of the admin aspects, and then we'll jump back into the tool to go and kind of go over the admin process.
Perfect, Jamie. Thank you so much. Yeah, what you've seen is really how easy it is to utilize planning capabilities that are inherent part of our offering. And it's basically a universal tool for the individual planner in any department, in any business unit, or for you, if you're a smaller organization, to do it yourself, but very variable and kind of following the ease of use from spreadsheets in adding a column to your P&L, if you will, and plan out your additional scenario, with the difference that it makes it so much easier to copy data to show which is the actual real plan that you want to submit, and the collaboration functionalities within the software that Janvi was showing. Last piece is the setup and maintenance, right? As any software, you would have to maintain a few components of your environment on a regular basis. I'm showing it's also process guided, if you will. I'm showing up here as an example, updating currency conversion tables, right? So if you do not have a live connection to your accounting system where this table might be maintained or automatically fed through some external agencies, you would have to maintain the table here in the system and make sure that you have accurate conversion rates in here for us to do the consolidation of the foreign revenues, etc., and show them in your group reporting currency, if you will, right? So it's a it's a portfolio of self-service applications that you can use in order to make sure that your system is always up and running based on those guided workflows that will enable you to perform these foundational tasks and get you and your team going in no time, right? There's some fundamental original tasks as well. We won't go into that. We really go into showing what is needed on an ongoing basis in order to maintain your data model, as you see an example on the right-hand side. Jambi, I'll stop sharing and you can quickly go into that as well. And I think you wanted to show some AI capabilities there as well. Is that right?
Yeah, so I was actually just going to touch upon the AI once we've kind of done the admin showing, once we have all of our data in the system.
Thank you.
But thank you. Yeah, brilliant. So as Hannah mentioned, in order to get to that point where we've seen our analytic reports, we've seen those planning templates, in order to get there, there is initial maintenance that needs to be done, an initial setup. This is where the admin comes in, and they can actually set up some of these things. And there's two different processes in order to kind of maintain that, do that monthly maintenance. And it starts off with initiating the planning process. So yes, as Hannah mentioned, this is where, if you don't have those live currency conversions connected, which the platform allows for, but we also allow for you to be able to kind of maintain currencies manually. as well as kind of uploading them accordingly as well. So again, this is where you can actually maintain some of that currency information that you want to then use throughout the planning process. So this is just a manual entry input form, but again, this could be something that is automatically set up based on pulling in from your accounting system or from a site as well. The tool is very flexible when it comes to setting that up. And essentially then that will allow us for currency conversion and being able to plan within different currencies and do currency conversion within reporting as well. So once that currency conversion is set up, some of the other aspects that the admin needs to do is just adjust appropriate time ranges if that's something that you want to set up, and then also lock last book actuals so that we can then continue to plan against that going forward. And then I did mention earlier, again, our launchpads are based to show step-by-step guided experience for that end user. And then, as I had mentioned, we also have instructions embedded in the launchpad. So again, this is really supposed to be for the end users, for the ease of use, so that they can come in here and they can perform their daily activities with everything that they need and not having to kind of switch between spreadsheets or different systems. Everything is all within that one platform as well. So in addition to kind of maintaining some of that currency, this is where we can actually maintain some of the master data as well when it comes to entity, local accounts, products, departments, and group chart of accounts as well. And this is where we can kind of do that mapping accordingly as well as an admin, and set up files so that then the business users can come in and actually upload their information accordingly as well. So this is very easy in a way that we can set this up as an admin, copy and paste, upload, or even direct connections as well. And then essentially once these admin aspects are done, this is when we can actually open up the period if we're looking to start that month planning, and then have users come in and do their monthly planning. And then also the second part of the admin process is to actually archive off historical data, and then also lock versions as well when it comes to the close of that planning process. So yeah, that's kind of the admin process. So what we've talked about is some of the analytics that are available. We've talked to some of how end users come in and maintain some of the planning details, and then in addition to how we upload our data as well. So with all of that in aspect, one of the things that I did want to point out and showcase as well is the Gen AI predictive and AI capability when it comes to kind of building out some of the reports using the tool as well. So very easily, within the platform, there's a just ask feature. What this is actually using AI in the background to kind of build out reports based on text or questions that you're asking the solution. So if I go in and if I just start to type in 2024 sales actuals and forecast, and if I hit enter, what the system is doing, it's taking that ask, and it's actually going in and checking all of our data, and it's actually building out reports for me automatically. So as a user, this is a really good way to kind of see insights and get your analytic visualizations and check your data accordingly as well. So just by asking that question, it's actually brought back our results. So we can see our products, we can see our actuals versus our forecast for the year of 2024. And what I can do is I can continue to add on to this in order to see some additional information. So if I wanted to now see by date, I can just type in by date. And the system, again, is going to start building out these analytic visualizations. And of course, then these visualizations, they can be added to stories, they can be added to reports, to dashboards, or again, they can even be shared across the organization as well. So as it's bringing out, as it sees fit, it will actually show the information in different visualizations, and I can see it in more of that grid-based report as well, or I have the option to kind of see it in more of a visualization as well. And then again, I can continue to add on to this, and I can actually do by country as well. So it's bringing in additional information based on our data models and our data set as well. And really easy to kind of build out these analytic visualizations and reporting capabilities. And then from here, I can actually then go into kind of making some additional changes as well. So we can actually go into a dashboard where it's actually going to allow us to, it's going to bring up the data analyzer dashboard. And this is where we can analyze the data that we've just retrieved by typing in that question to just ask. And we can actually make some additional changes here. So within the builder panel, this is where now I can kind of build out my report accordingly. So I can add some more things. So if I wanted country and version is already there, I can actually just through drag and drop, as I'm moving things around based on rows and columns, you're going to see that change within the report as well. So I moved version to the bottom here, and I'm actually going to go ahead and add store, for example, drag that across to my rows so that I can see my stores, and then maybe put in product catalog as well, and I can see that. And then I can drill down through dates as well. So right now I can go to the drill down function and I can go to level 4. So it kind of expands our date function as well. And this is where, you know, within a few clicks, I've now built out a 2024 actuals versus forecast for via country, store, and product group as well. And then also using some of the personalizations and styling information, styling templates, we can actually update the report accordingly as well. And then of course, now that I have this report built out, I can actually save this and then again share this across with others in the organization, or I can even then just put this into a story and publish this out as well. So, you know, the platform has some really good capabilities to be able to build out these reports once you have data in the system as well. And with it being a very much for the end user, these self-service tools are very tailored towards that end user to be able to kind of drag and drop, build out reports accordingly without having to kind of reach out to a third party or an IT team to kind of build out these reports accordingly as well. So Hannah, I'm going to pass over to you just to go over Excel, and then I'll jump back into the system as well.
Thank you, Jambi. Yeah, what you saw in terms of AI is right now more focused on productivity, but we are heavily working with our platform provider, SAP, and their 3,000 AI developers on bringing AI also more into the analytical space, asking questions like, why is my profitability down in a certain area, and what can I do in order to improve that, and things like that, right? So this is yet to come, but this is under development. What Janvi mentioned earlier on is good old spreadsheets, right? We are all finance people. We love our spreadsheets. We don't want to kill spreadsheets. We want to reutilize spreadsheets, but in a different way, right? So this is why there is a very, very strong and powerful Excel spreadsheet add-in existing that you can use to utilize either existing spreadsheet planning and reporting processes that you have, or even build out new ones based on one-off models or whatever, right? If there's a certain country having the, or a certain business unit having the need to go into data structures that are not part of your group view, if you will, they can still build out their planning template or reporting template in the way they are used to, and only individual rows, if you will, or data points are directly either pulled from your system or being written back into your system. The importance here is really that you have this direct tie to your system and not have any one-off where data is stored or calculations are stored in the spreadsheet from a group perspective, right? You want to standardize as much as possible, right? And you can reuse a lot of the work that you have done. A lot of customers are using this as a bridge into the new modern world in order to make sure that they don't lose too many users based on the fact that they love their spreadsheet so much. But again, you can connect the spreadsheet through the add-in directly with your solution and reutilize what is existing. Jami, you wanted to show this really quick, right? Jami, and you might be on mute if you're not, if you're talking.
Yeah, sorry about
Yeah,
that. Yeah,
okay.
so as Anna mentioned, you know, with the Excel add-in, you're able to add the platform SAP Analytics Cloud into Excel and then be able to kind of do some offline reporting. And as Henna mentioned, if you have teams that are reporting at different levels that you're not essentially reporting at within the tool, this is where you can kind of still leverage the Excel. So they're still planning in those templates, and then see those updates reflected in the web UI as well. So within Excel, you can set up these templates using the SAP get and SAP set dimensions. So this allows us to kind of make sure that we're pulling in data specifically from our models and from the platform as well. So just in that example that we've both mentioned, we have our P&L here, and you may have, again, users that are planning at more of a granular level offline, and then you can actually have that imported or automatically updating the web UI. So within our offline statement here, we're actually looking at office expenses and supplies, and then we're going down one more level to front and back office. As a user, as a planner, I can come in here and I can make the change to my back office here, and then I can see how that impacts my actual budget. Coming into April, we'll see that change here. And then what we can do is we can actually process this data that will then push the information into the web UI as well, so that we can see those changes there. So as I go ahead and make that change and then publish the data, I will prompt, let me go into the web UI. This is actually the web UI screen. I can go ahead and refresh the data. And again, those changes that I've made in the offline workbook are now reflected within our P&L as well. So it's really good to be able to kind of use the tool to kind of capture information, or still leverage Excel as needed, but then also make sure that everything is up to date within the web UI and within the platform as well. So that was just a quick overview of the example of Excel and still leveraging that. Henna, I'll pass back to you to kind of wrap.
Thank you. Yeah, absolutely. So what you have seen is a fraction of our whole enterprise performance planning management process, if you will, right? That means an integrated business planning platform, as well as financial consolidations capabilities, if you will. And we've seen the planning and reporting portion of your financial statements and the system. The big importance is, instead of juggling 3 or even more different tools for planning, reporting, and consolidations, why not simplify your life with a single integrated platform solution, right? You have heard this, PlaniFi FP&A Cloud is powered by the SAP Analytics Cloud, and it offers a seamless approach that consolidates all your financial needs into one platform. Very, very important, right? Especially if you're a small organization, you don't want to have all those different tools and different admin consoles and different everything, basically, right? So this also helps you to grow as a company and do not have to worry about the technology that is underlying, right? So start with your FP&A process right now and spread access to more detailed planning to other departments like sales, production, HR, whatever, in the future, right? Because you can extend, and I just highlighted a couple of those other processes here. You can extend at any point of time into the broader area, right? And this gives you really the capabilities to grow and not having to shift to the next platform in 1, 2, 3 years from now, when you're big enough, when you're mature enough, and when you feel like I'm ready for the next step, right? Biggest companies on this planet like Google, Microsoft, Apple, they are all using the same platform, the SAP Analytics Cloud, for their process, and we have, quote unquote, just customized it to be not that complex and to not be that cumbersome to maintain into a fully maintained and managed platform for you to utilize. So remember, it should be an easy decision to go with us here, as it is an investment in your company, into your company's future, right? Enabling you to navigate growth seamlessly, and also to make data-driven decisions with confidence into the future. Very few items that I wanted to continue to share with you is our next upcoming community event for the FP&A community. So if you want to enjoy peers and learning and the community, FP&A community, join us on June 18th and 19th in Nashville, Tennessee. We have a very good set of speakers lined up for you who share their success criteria, and what they are driving in order to help grow their respective companies. At the same time, we also have a nice evening event, Southern living, if you will, some comfort food and some country music on a rooftop in down on Broadway. Just scan this code you see on the right-hand side, or if you see the slides, click on it in order to get in here. If you want to see a short overview video or share it with anyone in your team, on the left-hand side, the QR code is showing a high-level overview video, and on the right-hand side is a very, very short version of the demo that John V has just shared with you. And overall, follow us on social media. You will always be at the forefront of getting new insights, thought leadership pieces, webinars that we're driving, events, in-person events that we're driving, and any news around the FP&A community. We would love for you to know. So please visit our digital properties here and make sure that you are having a good updated view on the FP&A world, if you will. If there's anything we can do for you, please reach out to me. Scan my code, that's my LinkedIn on the left-hand side. You see my email address on the right-hand side, my telephone number there is my direct cell phone. Please give me a ring, and I'm happily answering any questions or have a meeting with your team and assess your situation and provide some guidance where you could go, where you should go, etc. This concludes today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining some quality time with us, and we're looking forward to see you in one of our next webinars. Thank you and take good care.